You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
All right, what do we got?
Jewel Eriksson, Zach Bogosian updates, please.
Day to day.
Both of them, so neither going tonight?
No. Oh, correct, yes, I should say.
Goaltender tonight, Wally?
Yes.
Okay.
So similar lineup to what you had Saturday as far as...
Yeah, it'll be exact same lineup.
Okay.
Looking at block shots, I know I've asked you about this before, but in the last month, Brodin and Faber are two of the top guys throughout the league. Feels like Spurgeon every year is. You've got these offensive-minded defensemen that are so good defensively. What kind of message, when those guys are doing all the block shots, does that send to the team?
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, you have to be a good defensive team, to win night in and night out. And, the thing I respect about our guys is that when they're called upon to defend or to get in front of a shot or box out at the net front or whatnot, they're willing to do it. And I think that's, especially when you have guys that are quote-unquote offensive players. But there is two sides to the puck. And, the thing that I give them credit for is they're willing to do the right things on both sides of the puck.
What are you expecting from New Jersey? They're on kind of a skid, but what their team's capable of is pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey is fast-paced. They have a lot of talent. They play with good structure. I watched the game yesterday. I think that you just take every game for what it is. And, I mean, they're a very good team, well-coached. They got really good players. So, we're expecting we need to be at our best. It's always about your focus of your own team, but we certainly respect the Devils. And last time we played them in New Jersey, they gave us a pretty good beating.
Special night for Quinn, and just watching back that game, third period, what he was able to do. It felt like, Coach, every time 43 was on the ice, you guys were buzzing in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I thought Quinn played really well. He was skating well, moving the puck well. I thought as a five-man unit when he was on the ice with whoever he was on, they were getting good chances. But I think the offensive pressure was something that we really like, and I think Quinn's a big part of that.
Obviously, on paper after the trade, you're thinking, maybe Faber and him can work well as a pair. But then now you've seen it for like a month and a half. What struck you the most about how those two work so well together?
Well, I think one of the things that I found was anytime you get a new player that comes in to your team, there's obviously an adjustment period. But I think with a guy like Quinn, just with the offensive elements that he brings, I think it's twofold. It's not only him getting comfortable on a new team and in a new environment, but I also think the players getting comfortable with him because there is some uniqueness to his game of his ability to move the puck, his mobility in the offensive zone where he can spin out of plays, and also guys understanding when he's doing these certain things, what's the next play that's going to happen. And I think whether it's he and Faber or he with the group, I think guys are starting to understand some of his tendencies as well, and I think it's starting to click a little bit more fluently now.
Could that trip have been a good timing for him after the trade, to spend 2 weeks on the road with the guys, get to know them off the ice in terms of getting...
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. It's no different. I've come into two teams mid-season as a coach, and it's a lot when you're leaving one environment, coming to another environment, and you're the only new guy. And everyone else has their kind of relationships, and it's the players, it's the coaches, it's the style of play, it's the city, it's your home life. Everything is in flux, and you're trying to. So I think when you can come in and then you can get on the road, and now it's just hockey, it's just the team. There's more opportunities for guys to hang out together. When we're here, we have a lot of older guys, a lot of kids with families. So when you're at home or on homestands, a lot of times you're at the rink together, but then guys have other things to do in their personal lives. And he's a single guy, he's by himself here. So I think to get on the road, be around everybody more, and everyone's kind of together, I think it was certainly beneficial.
You've coached brother against brother before with the Folignos and others. You ever coached 3 siblings on the ice?
No, I haven't done 3. I've done 2, but not 3. So it'd be obviously it'd be unique.
Unique challenge, kind of fun for that family, though, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I think his mom and dad were here for the last game, and obviously they got all 3 guys tonight. So pretty impressive.
Yeah. Obviously you preach puck possession, right? But Quinn, the way he possesses the puck, it seems like your team has kind of changed more possessing the puck. Other guys see this and continue to grow grow their game. Have you noticed that, or am I just seeing things?
Yeah, no, I think that it's. I think there's some validity to that. I think when you have a player, when you add a player of that caliber, whether it's a forward or a D, I think that they do change a little bit of your team just in the way that they play. Like, he's an offensive play driver, and what I mean by that is he does it with his skating. He can pass the puck. He can carry the puck. He can make plays. He can shoot the puck. So in all those categories, I think that when you play with him, that adds to the guys that he plays with. But I also think it does bring a different dynamic sometimes to your team in general. That guys play a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, more confidence with the puck. All those types of things. I do think it does infiltrate into your team for sure.
When you get the intensity of the January schedule kind of before the break, when you start with the long road trip, is there anything you've learned from a past league break in coaching that works well for how to manage the rest and make sure that you kind of get as fresh for?
Yeah, I think it's. I think the more and the longer that you do coach in this league, and I would say, particularly the last few years with the Four Nations and the Olympics and different things like that, the expanded All-Star break, that it's managing it leading up to it, like what we're going through now, and it's also the plan for the players on the Olympic break, but then also what are you doing when you come back? Like, how do you ramp them back up to be able to be ready to play? How you practice, the intensity level of your practices, days off. So it's not just the break; it's also managing them now, because before the break it's going to be a cluster of games, and then coming out of the break it's going to be a cluster of games. So I think it's more of a long-range view than just the Olympic break.
Kirill told us after the game, he got a goal in the game. He's got 25 now. All he talked about was, I got to score more. He was disappointed in himself for the chance he had where he didn't score. Just how do you manage all the good things he does versus maybe the expectations in his head that he has to be that guy on every shift?
Yeah, I think that comes down to, that's what makes him an elite player, is not only does he have elite ability, but his expectations, I think, of himself are very high. So it's trying to find that balance of expressing things that he does well, but also that it's not it can't just be end result based.
Good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.